Okay, we're back on this PT Cruiser. Now I want to show you something real quick. I was told by someone in my chat, told me that there's an adjustment on the bottom of the pump to make it where you can make your stuff to be a manual. And I'm assuming that's the bottom right there is what he's talking about. Let's see here. Yeah, there it goes. It loosens right on up. Wonder how far you take it. Well, there's backed out to the middle bracket. Let's see here. I got this. Yeah, and sure enough, there you go. That's how to do it right there. And then you can turn your pump into a manual pump. It's actually going to work out good. Now, after I told you guys how to adjust these pumps, or not adjust them, but refill them, it lasted about 3 days. So what I did is I found one on Craigslist, a car that they're parting out. I just call them up, tell them what parts I needed, because I ended up getting my rims, I got a set of rims and tires and the pump off of it. So I was just going to change it out. And then what I was thinking is I would go ahead, and once I got it all off, I would try to see if I can rebuild those cylinders myself. And if I can, I'll share it with you guys. But what I plan on doing today is showing you guys how to replace this assembly. Okay guys, first thing you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to get these seats to pull forward, which is a latch on the outside where you open your hood or your trunk lid, or I guess your hatchback lid, whatever you want to call it. And that gets the seat to pull forward like so. Okay, this is how you drop the seats down. You're gonna get into the back of it. And right there, each seat has its own popper. I don't know if you know these or not, but I didn't when I first got the car. So you pull it, and that's how you release the seat. So the seat folds forward. Thanks. Now you may have a little strap that screws in there. I've already removed mine. But you remove that strap, and then the seat will pull forward like so. And just kind of, now some of them have a tab you have to push in this mechanism, okay? And this mechanism to get that to come out like that. Mine don't have that mechanism. All I have to do is pull forward, and mine comes loose like that. Different years. And then you just take your seat out. Okay. So now we're inside. So you've got that removed. Okay, you got that one removed. You'll have to remove that one too. Wish I'd have seen that before I got in. But then you kind of just gotta pull this thing apart. There's no real good way to do this. Don't forget that Phillips head right there, as I was trying to. Alright guys, we got this thing loose now. Got that bolt out of there. It's all loose. You kind of just pull this out. You just want to pull it away from the wall. Yeah, take loose your seal. I would recommend probably go ahead and just removing your foot panel here. Go ahead and get your seal away from it, but leave it mounted to this. Or I don't know. You'd have to just take your own opinion into that. But you have to remove that screw. Then from there you can just start pulling it away from the wall. Okay, so we got this. We're gonna start getting it out now. I do believe might be wrong here. Alright, just keep pulling towards you here. Alright. So, there you go. Just keep trying to pull towards you. And kind of pull up, and you'll get it loose. It's not exactly the easiest thing in the world, but it's out now. And then what you do is you leave your belt hooked to it. You just kind of just twist it outside. Okay, well, now we're here at the passenger side actuator for the top. And if you look here, you'll see where this thing has been leaking all over the place. Okay, we'll try to clean some of that up. But right there's the actuator. And it's that upper seal that's bad. What you do is right there's a bolt, a nut, or I guess a bolt, and right there's a bolt. Take both of them out. Pull the assembly out, put your new one in, and there you go. Alright, well, I got it out of there. Now, just so you guys know, it's a 5mm, okay, that it's supposed to be. But I got it out. This thing has got lubricant on it. That's sad to have inside your car like that. See, you got on the top side, you got 2 of them. So you gotta make sure 2 of them go back on. And I know I dropped them on the back side here. So, well, I'll have to get to them. Yeah, but it's all nastied up back there. You can see where it's been leaking. It looks like it's been leaking here. So it's been leaking out of. So, but it's been leaking all over the place. That's so sad. Makes me wish I hadn't filled it. But that's how you find out if it's been leaking or not. You got to pull these panels. Well, that's where how you got to find the leak. You know, it's probably going to be one of these. So that's how you'll find it, is by pulling the panel. I know whenever I started this, I didn't think that I didn't know where it went. I didn't see no fluid nowhere. Well, but this is why, because it's easily hidden. You know, because you got a trough down there, and it really doesn't get up on the carpet too much. You know, so that's what happens. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and pull this back loose. We're actually gonna mount our new one and kind of get everything loosely in place. And then I'm gonna start pulling up the back and then fishing this back that away. Fishing it back that away, and then lay my new one in as I go along. Now, someone told me about taking down the top with that screw. If I remember right, which I'll be able to show you guys whenever we get done with the video, or whenever I get done with this, I'll be able to drop the top back down. If I remember right, when you drop the top, it covers that portion back there. So if you drop the top, you can't get to where you need to work on. So you got to have the top down to even work on the thing. You got to be in this position to do the work to it. So that's why I'm doing it like this. I went ahead and I left the valve loose so that whenever I put them in place, it won't affect anything, and I can put my valves in. I put my actuators in without having no issue out of that pump. we're going to go ahead and get that back on there and go from there. Okay, now I started taking this top loose back here. Okay, over in this corner, you're gonna have there's the fabric is hooked up back there, so you got to push back that away, kind of like this. Okay, and then you can pull back on it. See, and all this is just, you know, Velcroed there. Just roll all this back, and you'll do it on the other side too. You have to kind of pull back on it. See, you have to pull back on it just about like that, and kind of roll it up back here, and then you can get this out. I just kind of roll it back towards you. See, I just pull that back and roll it back towards you. And now I should be able to get to the pump. So I want to see the orientation of this thing before I start putting this thing in. Okay. All right. Motor's on passenger side. When you put that thing in, you start putting the new pump in or whatnot, the pump is on the passenger side. So passenger side stuff goes on passenger side. All right, thanks. Okay, now on this back end of that actuator, okay, you have 4 little, I don't know, metal grommets, I want to call them, or bushings. They go on each side of each hole. So there's 2 per hole, and it goes on either side. Now the back ones are going to fall out as soon as you take loose the old one. They're going to fall out and fall down. Okay. I'd grab. I don't even know if these are. I don't even know if I think they're brass. No, they're metal. They might. You might be able to use a magnet to pick them up, but I had to fish them out. I had to just take a screwdriver and like go down there and wiggle it around and pop them out of there, because they get back behind that metal paneling and that metal bracket. So, and who wants to take apart that whole metal bracket just to get a couple of grommets out? So, but there are 2 of them that go on the back side, and 2 of them go on the 2 on the front side, 2 on the back side. So make sure you have both of them. It'll be important, because what'll happen is it'll ruin that cylinder if you don't have them both on there. But I'm gonna get this mounted in here. It's gonna take 2 hands. There's no way. All right, so we got it back in. Now the lines go on the bottom side. They fish underneath the actuator there, just so you know. That's how they were installed to begin with. You just fish them underneath it. Okay. Now that back one, I ended up rounding off the nut there. With the right size. The top one was fine here, but the back one, I ended up rounding it off. I think it's because the angle you have to get in there at there, it's not exactly a perfect angle. You're not getting square on it. Just I wanted to let you know, so be warned, about that back one. You might want to go ahead and just make sure you got a 5mm Allen head whenever you go to do this. I probably wouldn't play around with it too much, because the ladder's not fun. But now you can see this one goes through the metal. This one don't sit on the metal. It goes through the metal. It itself is a I guess a bearing for this. And this one sits over the top of the metal. Now both of them are only going to screw down to a certain depth. And this should move kind of side to side a little bit. You should have some kind of, in other words, this shouldn't be in a bind. You should be able to see, you should be able to notice a little bit of flexion there. Not a lot, but a little bit. If it's in a bind, I would definitely look at what you're doing. Now, those had blue Loctite on them, so you might want to have some blue Loctite with you whenever you go to do this. Sorry, I started shaking there a little bit. Blue Loctite would be a good idea. Put some blue Loctite on it before you put them back together. I think that's kind of another reason why that thing went hard to put it back together, because of that blue Loctite was, binding up the threads a little bit. All right. Now we're gonna take loose the pump. We're gonna go ahead and mount the pump. I'm gonna go ahead and put this panel back together and put the seat back in, and basically swap sides and go to the other side. Basically, how you're gonna put this back together is you're gonna take this panel and pull it in, and just basically how you pulled it apart. The back's gonna kind of go in, and the bottom's gonna go in at the same time, and then you're gonna push down and then push back. Once you get it to where everything's starting to line up at the bottom, then you can push this in place. I think, and even you got to twist this. The other thing is you got to twist the bottom lip to fit into that crevice there for the bottom piece. So it's kind of, you almost have to just bend it almost a U shape to get it to go into place when you put it back. It's not exactly fun, but it's probably the fastest, the easiest way to do it. Otherwise, you got to take loose this back piece here. You got to pull that piece loose there. You got to pull the top piece loose here. Now, this is the second time I've been into this panel, and I haven't really damaged anything by doing this. So I'm saying that it's not exactly a bad thing, to take it loose like this. Okay, now you'll probably have to cut your lines loose. See, you'll probably just cut them loose. That's what I ended up doing. I don't have anything to replace the tabs with, but I think it'll go back in place, because what I'm removing was same situation, so I imagine it'll just fall right back into place once I get everything back. Now, those nuts there are 10 millimeter. So okay, as I was saying, 10 millimeter. There's the first one. Just keep that pushed back out of the way. Just pulls on out of the way, so we can start feeding our new one in. I guess you got to cut this little, start cutting these lines on this side. I just used a cutter like this. Don't cut the line itself. I mean, most likely you're going to try to save them. Now that wire harness is tied to that on this side. You have to take it loose there too. Okay, we halfway got the other one out of the way. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of put this one in place. The wire fits on right here. Like that. Plug it in there. You got to remove the relay. This little tab right there on the relay. Well, I ended up just cutting this side. So let me see if it'll slide forward here. Well, if you get a proper flathead screwdriver, it'd probably work better. All right, now we can put it in place. you gotta transfer this relay over, unless yours already had it on there. Mine I removed. I still have it. I got one for it, but I want to use my original unless I need one. Have it in case it goes bad. But yeah, there it is. Now everything's in place except for the nuts for that. Now my bushings wanted to stay on the screws, so I had to pull them off because the one that I was replacing it with just had them already in there, so left them there. All right, back to putting this panel on. Okay, I want to show you guys a little bit on how to get this thing back into place. Okay, now I've got the belt kind of loose here. If you've got any wires, you want to tuck them right now. You're probably not gonna get another chance. Start pushing down, get everything lined up. Hold on one second. All right, guys, my battery decided it was gonna go dead on me here. So I'm back though. The reason why I had to stop is I wanted to show you that at this point you need to get if you have any tabs that are stuck in the wall of the car, you need to grab them and put them on the thing, so you don't have to do this twice. Go around and look at all those before you go any further at this point. But we're gonna go ahead and put this thing in place. Make sure you get your wires in underneath there. If you have any wires, so we got it where that's already fed in there. It's starting to, I know I got trash in my car here a little bit, but we'll plan on detailing it after we're done. No use doing it twice. Now, if you don't have to remove that seal from the car side, I wouldn't do it. It's not worth doing. But you do have to remove the seal from this, and then I would just pull it loose in the middle to take it loose. But you can see where we at now. What we're going to do is push this back and then down. Okay. And what it's going to do is you have a screw that you're going to be holding up on this right here. So you kind of just push it down until it pops in place. It's one of the easiest things right there. Now you can start worrying about this. Start worrying about feeding this area in. And you're kind of gonna work from the back to front when you do that. That seems to be there. Seems to be in place there. Now we have to work this in. Make sure you got that screw holder in place. You get to see the stuff in real time, so whenever you do it, you don't have to fight with so much stuff like I do. Maybe you can see what I'm doing, so you don't have to make the same mistakes. Aha! Yeah, it was hanging up back here, so watch out for that. pop this piece in. Now we can get this in a little bit easier. Now what you want to do is get like a flathead and push that up underneath there. This side will go in pretty easy, I think. Yeah, this side will go up in there. This side you're going to have something to pry up with. It's all starting to go back. We're just about back together here. On this, just going to tilt it up underneath there, pop it back in place. And you got that right there, holds the belt. It was already off whenever I removed it. I'm sorry about that. I'd lost it before, so I had to replace it. So it came off the car that I got the parts from on the top. But and then you got that left. So when you screw in there, on that, put your seal back on, and you do the same thing for the other side. You do the same thing from the other side, and that'll be it. Getting it back together. All right. I just wanted to go ahead and show you guys one more time, all back together, everything in place, the things that need to be in place. I don't know why my video is filming slow here. There's some problems on the other side on that, which I'm going to have to address on a different deal. Because my seal is all jacked up right there, that's why. That's why mine came loose whenever I took it all apart. Yours will stay here, and then you'll pull loose right here. Whenever you take yours loose, you'll just pull this loose right here, and then pull out your seal down here, and just leave this connected on the body. But I think we're all back together on that part. Basically, you do the same thing on the opposite side. It's not rocket science. I showed you everything, all the big deal parts of it. So the rest of it's a lot of man hours, a lot of time invested. It's not exactly easy to get in these small back seats and work on this. So hopefully, if you're going to tackle this, you're a smaller person. I'm actually a bigger person, so it's not fun. But good luck. All right, we're gonna go ahead and put these mounts back on and put the seat back in. Now you kind of want to get it up underneath the carpet. And I pulled them out, they were underneath the carpet, so that's kind of what you want to do. Get it back up underneath there. And if you look real closely there, you can see where the bolts were seated up against that bracket. Let me get our bolts. Okay, and you're just going to run them down and make them line up with what they was originally there. Be right back. Now what you want to do is make sure that those are lined up in those slots and just lean it forward. or I mean back. And if you did everything right, it'll catch, which it did not. You see there, it's supposed to catch in those levers. The right side did, but the left side did not. So, all you gotta do is pull that strap, lean it forward again, try again. Well, I'm sorry guys, I couldn't get that on camera. You have to really push on the side. You have to really push it hard down and to get it to fall down into place, to get everything to line up. You have to really push on it. Rather than that, there it is. She's back in place. And that's how you put one of these seats back in place. From there, all you gotta do is put your seat back. There it is. It's all back in place. Okay, so we're on this other side here. Let's see here. Like I said, I left the seal up in place right there. The seal's in place. I did take it loose down low and then left it together down there. Let's see here. I went ahead and I took loose that bracket so that I can get to the screws better. It makes things a little easier. But what we're going to do is go ahead and take that loose, pull it back through, put the other one in real quick, real hurry. Okay, so we got it loose. It looked like this one's been leaking too. Not as bad as the other side, but this one had been leaking too. So they both were bad. Wasn't just one. You know, one of them like lucky situations, you'd hope one would just be bad. No, they were both bad. One out of here. Remember that, guys? Again, that adjuster is on the bottom of that thing to make it where you can just manually operate the top. I'm gonna toss this one out. There she is. Now, I plan on doing a video, like I said. I have some ideas on how to just repair these. I mean, because, come on, they're just seals that are bad. I mean, you know, to be honest with you, I think they should be repairable. The problem is once you get them apart, how are you supposed to get them back together? Because it looks like it's all pressed together fit. So what I was thinking is we'll probably have to put some sort of mount on it. Some external mount to the assembly. Again, the lines go down. I'm gonna go ahead and get this one in place. Okay. Now again, my pump, as I'm putting this thing together, I have that manual valve loosened so that this thing so that I can work this valve, so that I can work this actuator in and out as I need it whenever I put it back together. Okay, it's a good idea to do, leave it loose. But I'm gonna go ahead and get this one back in place. Remember that you have to have the bushings. Don't lose them bushings. And I imagine you might be able to put the bushings out of the front piece here. I imagine they're the same thing. You know, if you really needed you needed a bushing from somewhere and had to rob it, you probably rob it from the other set. But if you're going to do, like if everything works out and I actually get you know, you're using this video to do a repair on them, you can't lose them. You gotta catch them all. You got to get them all, man. Don't lose them things, because you don't want this. You don't want that rod eating against that aluminum. It'll just run a hole right through it. It'll just push it right on through. It's very important. You need these bushings. All right, I'll get it back together here, and once I'm done with that, we will continue on the back, and go from there. All right, I got that all in place. Just need to make sure everything's routed right. So everything looks good. Really wish I could have mounted that thing better on the body. I don't have it, so some of those things are a fortune too. Those zip ties. It's amazing. Tell them specialty, they want extra money. So alright. So I flipped it over. I changed that manual valve back to or I just tightened it up basically. Put my bolts in it, my nuts on it. Sorry, I'm breathing hard. This thing's, it's really close tolerance. It's in a close space here. If you're working on this, you'll see. Hold on a second. All right, I'm back. Right. Okay, we'll need that foam piece. Now, see, this is front. Just gotta get it up underneath that belt. There it goes. Just kind of fits in place. And roll it back. Your sides are going to be, you probably have to worry about them first. I'm feeding that felt up under this. There you go. All right, looks like they're in place. All right, let's pop the top on this thing. Yeah, there was no way to get back there with that top down. Oh, but it feels so good now. Yeah, there would be no way to get to that motor with that top down. So you have to work on that with the top up, basically in place. There it is. Let's put it back up just to make sure here. And I would probably recommend, whenever you put this top down, I would probably recommend you let it fall to this point instead of pushing, making it force it to shut. I think that's part of the issue while we're popping them. They're older, man. I mean, I imagine when they're brand new, you know, you can work them like that. But these are older assemblies, and we need to get them, you know, let them run as long as possible. So I think my opinion on that's going to be to, you know, just not push it so hard when they go to that point. You open it all the way here. And it gets to that point, and it's not quite all the way down or whatever. It's just better just to let it fall. See, because you push down on it, it'll go out and down. I think the same way if it's going all the way up. All right. Well, I'm gonna put this panel back on and